analysis, it is just a measure of efficiency of the algorithm. So when efficiency comes into picture, we should speak about the space complexity and time complexity. So what is this space complexity? It is the total amount of space, okay, total amount of space required to complete its execution. It is total amount of space required or it takes to complete its execution. Okay. Clear? What is space complexity? It is the total amount of space or memory it requires or it needs to complete execution. Here, what is space complexity? It is the total amount of space or memory it requires to complete its execution. Here, so when we are speaking about this space, so we should speak about two different spaces. Okay, one is fixed part. Okay, one is fixed part, other one is variable part. Okay, when we are speaking about the space complexity, means space, that is total space taken is equals to the sum of fixed part and the variable part. What is this fixed part? Fixed part, right? What is this fixed part? It is independent of any instance characteristics of any program. Fixed part. Okay, it is independent, it is not depending on any other variable. Okay, so that we will call it as fixed part. What is this variable part? Okay, so space for variables whose size depends on a particular program instance or on a particular problem instance. It is dependent one. Which one? This variable space. Variable space is dependent on the another variable or another instance of a problem, whereas this is independent of any other characteristics of a problem. Okay, independent of any other characteristics of a problem. Okay, so this we will call it as fixed part. Okay, this is a fixed part and this is variable part, right? So the total of fixed part plus variable part gives the total space taken by particular algorithm to complete its execution. So that we will call it as space complexity. Clear? Okay. Next, coming to this time complexity. Coming to this time complexity is it is the total amount of time. Total amount of time taken by the algorithm to complete its execution is called as time complexity. Okay, the total amount of time taken by the algorithm to complete its execution, we will call it as time complexity. So here also we are having two times. One is compile time. Okay, compile time plus runtime, that is execution time. So this gives the total time. Okay, total time, compile time plus execution time or runtime. So this complete thing gives the time complexity of any problem. Clear? Clear? Or any confusion is there here? How we will
Yes, sir.
measure the performance of any algorithm? The performance of any algorithm can be measured by the space complexity and the time complexity. What is this space complexity? It is the total amount of space or total amount of memory it needs to complete execution. Right? Okay. So we are having two parts of space. One is a fixed part, other one is variable part, or you can also say that it is a fixed space and the variable space. What is fixed one? It is independent of instance characteristics. It is independent of instance characteristics. For example, space for simple variables and constants, etc. Okay, you just take out the constant. Is it varying in space? No, always it will be fixed one. Similarly, for simple variable, suppose if I take the variable, okay, suppose if I take the variable int I is equals to 5. How many times you will execute this one? How many times you will execute this one? Always it will take the same amount of time. Sorry, same amount of space, right? Same space it will take. Okay, same space it will take. For example, if I take an array of n, if I take an array of n, you just see if n is equals to 1, it will take some space. If n is equals to 2, it will take different space. If n is equals to 5, it will take different space, and so on. So here the total space, right? The total space is depending on the value of n, right? Here the total space is depending on the value of n. So it is variable. It is variable. It is variable, whereas it is fixed. How many times you will execute this one? Always it will take the same amount of space. Got the difference between fixed part and the variable part, right? Okay, you just see, if you take this array of 4 elements, then if you take an array of 4 elements, then it will take some amount of memory. Suppose if you increase the n value from 4 to 6, from 4 to 6, if you increase, again the amount of space will be varied. You just see here, it is, let us take, it is taking 4 units of memory, and here it is taking 6 units of memory. But here the variable array is the same. Variable array is the same, whereas depending on this n, the space is varying. The space is varying. Okay, so this type we will call it as variable space. This type we will call it as variable space. Got the difference between the fixed part and the variable part? Clear? Okay, so what is variable part or what is variable space? Space for variables whose size is dependent on particular problem instance. Here you just see problem instance. So here the space is depending on n. So this is particular problem instance, right? So here the space is depending on the n, whereas in this case it is not depending on any of the problem instance. Hence it is fixed. Hence it is fixed. Whereas here it is depending on the n. So hence it is variable. Clear? Kindly respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, we will see some example. We will see some example here. We will take one algorithm. Okay. We'll take one algorithm. So let us take ABC of. Let us take X, Y, Z. Okay. So we'll just use a return statement. Return A plus B star C by A into B. Okay. Right. We'll just close this one. Okay. So let us take, this is an algorithm we are having. Okay. This is an algorithm we are having. So we are having one function ABC and the arguments are X, Y and Z. X, Y and Z. Okay. X, Y and Z. Let us take, I will pass values for this. X is 5. I will pass values for Y is 2. I'll pass values for z is 1. Okay, then so it will calculate this one and it will return the answer. Now what is the amount of space? What is the amount of space this is requires? So for the x, let us consider this as an integer variable. For x, we are taking 1 unit of memory, or if it is integer, let us take it takes 4 bytes of memory, right? Suppose if these are integers, okay, if all these are integers, then x is taking 4 bytes of memory. Similarly, y is taking 4 bytes of memory. Similarly, z is taking 4 bytes of memory. Okay, similarly, z is taking 4 bytes of memory. Apart from this, is there any variable which varies here? How many times you will execute this one? Okay, how many times you will execute this one? Each and every time it will return some answer, only some fixed value it will return, right? Only some fixed value. That this value may be depending on variable values, but all these takes only 1 unit of memory, that is 4 bytes. Yes or no? First time if you are giving for x as 5, next time when you execute, if you are giving x as 10, but the values are changing, but the memory is the same. Memory is the same, right? So hence, so so this is, let us take it is taking 12 bytes, for example. Okay. Here the memory is not changing. Here the memory is not changing. The number of times you execute this algorithm, each time x takes only 4 bytes, y takes 4 bytes, and z takes 4 bytes. Okay. So don't confuse. I am taking these 4 bytes based on this, assuming that these x, y, z are integers. Okay. So if you are confusing, so we can take it as, okay. If you are confusing, we can take it as, so x takes, let us take 1 unit of memory. Similarly, y takes 1 unit of memory and z takes 1 unit of memory, right? Okay. Is this right? So whatever the code we are writing here, is this right? Does it executes? So here we are having variables x, y, and z, but here we are using variables a, b, c. How it works? No, right? So here use what we should use here. So return. Let us take a plus b plus, sorry. Again we are going with a, b, c. So return x plus y plus z, whatever you take. So y minus z, right? Okay. So here, apart from these three variables, x, y, and z, apart from these three variables, are we having any other variables? No. So let us take, it is taking 3 units of memory. So how many times you will execute this one? Every time it is taking same amount of memory. Okay. So here I am taking this as 1 unit. Okay. Similarly, here it is 1 unit. Right. So this is one algorithm. Next we'll see. Okay. Next we'll see. Let us take another algorithm. Just see here. Another algorithm. Let us take sum of a comma n. Okay. Sum of a comma n. Initially, sum is equals to 0. Okay. Initially, let us take S is equals to 0 for I is equals to 0 to n do, okay, for I is equals to 0 to n do, so S is equals to S plus A of I. Finally, we are returning the S value. Finally, we are returning the S value. Okay. Finally, we are returning the S value. Right. So here let us take this. This A is an array we are having. Okay, and this is number of elements in this array. Right. And how many variables we are having in this one? How many variables are there?
Two.
2. How many variables are there? See, one is I variable is there here. Other one S is there. Other one N is there. Right here. Yes or no? Right? Yes or no? Next is one array variable we are having. Right? One array variable we are having. Right? So how many times? So initially this I is equals to 0. Next time it is 1. So each time for I, memory value is changing, but the memory location is not changing, right? Memory value is changing, but number of memory locations are not changing. So it is fixed. Let us take, it is taking 1 unit R. If it is integer, it is taking 4 bytes. Similarly, yes, sir. Similarly, yes, sir. Right? Again, it is taking one memory location. Each time the same memory location will be updating. Okay. So here also it is taking 1 unit of space. Similarly, n. So initially you are reading how many number of elements are there, right? So it is also taking 1 unit of time. Whereas this A, so the size of this A, if n is equals to 1, this is the size. If n is equals to 2, this is the size. If n is equals to 3, this is the size. If n is equals to 4, this is the size, right? Just see, the memory locations are keep on changing here, right? The memory locations are keep on changing. Understanding? Understanding?
Yes, sir.
So here, since A is the size of this A is depending on the n value. The size of the A is depending on the n value. If n is equals to 4, then it is 4. If n is equals to 5, then it is 5. So it is n, right? N units. Yes or no? Did you understood this one? Right? Is there any doubt how we got n here? Right? Why? Because here the memory location for I is fixed. Similarly for S is fixed. Similarly for N is fixed. Whereas for A, it is depending on the value of N. Right? For A, it is depending on value of N. If N is 3, then A will be having 3 locations. If N is 5, then A will be having 5 locations. If N is 100, then A will be having 100 locations. Right? So this A is depending on the value of N. Hence it is n units. If n is equals to 1 means A is equals to 1 unit. If n is equals to 4, then A is equals to 4 units, right? So here we will be having n plus, So based on this three variables, it is n plus 3, right? It is n plus 3 units. So if you are taking this as a constant space and this is variable space, right? So the total space of a program is represented by S of P is equals to constant space plus 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 variable space. Okay, so this is the notation we will use to represent the total space of a program. Okay, so the total space of a program is equals to constant space plus variable space. C is a constant space and SP is a variable space. Okay, in sometimes we can also use like this, SP of I, that is variable space of an instance. Here an instance, this A is depending on an instance of n. Okay, so here A is depending on an instance n, instance variable n. So here the total space, right? The total space will be written as, or will be calculated as S of P, that is total space is equals to constant space or fixed part plus variable space. Constant space plus variable space. Here constant space is, let us take here, we are taking 3 plus variable space is n. So it is n plus 3. Okay, whatever you can take, you can take. Okay, clear? Any doubt here? What is this? S of P is equals to C plus SP. SP is variable space and C is constant space. Clear? In the previous example, here it is only C, that is constant space. There was no SP. SP was 0. Constant space was 3. Right? Is it clear? Please remember here, if you are writing S of P, then it is total space. S of P is equals to C plus SP. What is this SP? SP is variable space. And what is this C? C is constant space or fixed part. Clear? Kindly respond. Why no response?
Clear, sir.
Only one, for only one student it is clear. What about the rest?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay. Next, we'll go with, suppose if you are having, if you are having any recursion. Suppose if you are having any recursion, right? How to calculate the total amount of space? So here it is looping statement is there, whereas here it is simple return statement is there in this example, right? In this example, looping statement is there, right? Looping statement is there. And suppose if we are having any recursion, right? Suppose if you are having any recursion, then what is the amount of time taken? Okay. Let us take on one more example. Let us take an example algorithm. So R sum of a comma n if n is less than or equals to 0, then we will return 0. Else we will return R sum of a comma n minus 1 plus a of n. Okay, just see, we are having recursion here, right? We are having recursion here. So when recursion is there in any algorithm, then automatically the compiler will use stack program, right? Automatically the compiler will use stack concept. Why? Why stack is used? Because it has to store the formal parameters, actual parameters, right? And the return address. So it has to perform jumping operations, sir. Yes or no? Right? So it has to store parameters, local variables, return address, right? When recursion is there, then it has to store parameters, local variables, and the return address, right? So these three, for each recursive call, it has to store these three values. Okay, for each recursive call, it has to store these three values, right? Now just see, suppose if you are having a parameter, okay, if you are having a parameter array, okay, if you are having a parameter array, then it is taking 1 unit. Similarly, suppose if it is having local variables, if it is having any local variables, okay, then it is taking 1 unit of memory. Okay, similarly for the return address, it is taking 1 unit of memory. So these 3 units of memory it is taking, these 3 units of memory it is taking per recursive call. Okay, per recursive call. So here, how many times it will call this one? How many times this will call? Suppose let us take, so here it is n value is 100. Okay, suppose if I take n value as 100, then it is calling this 100 times, right? Then it is calling this 100 times. So the total amount of space it is required is, per recursive call it is 3 into how many times it is calling? 100 times. So totally it is 300 times, right? So this is the variable space. This is the variable space when we are having recursion. Kindly observe here. See, when we are having the recursion, then for each recursive call, it has to store parameter values, local variables, as well as the return address, right? As well as the return address. So this is variable space plus fixed part. Plus fixed part. Fixed part means, so here when n becomes 0, it will check for one time, right? When n becomes 0, it will check for check for one time, right? So here these are fixed part. But here this is how we will calculate the variable part. Here, okay. Is it clear? So here, see in the previous example, here the variable part was depending on this a was depending on the value of n. So hence it was n plus fixed part is 3. So this is for one time, whereas in recursion for each recursive call it is taking 3 units. For each recursive call it is taking 3 units. Suppose if you consider all these as integers, then it is for this one it is 4 bytes. Then for variable it is 4 bytes, and for return it is 4 bytes. So totally 12 bytes per recursive call. 12 bytes for recursive call. Suppose it is having 100. If the maximum size of the array is 100, then 100 into 12. Then 100 into 12. So that is this much. Okay. Yes or no? So this is the amount of space. That is variable amount of space that is required by this algorithm. Okay, that is required by this algorithm, plus the constant space, Okay, always remember. So we'll calculate the total space as constant space plus variable space. Constant space plus variable space. Okay, clear? Kindly respond.
Yes, sir.
What about the others?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
active or inactive?
Yes, sir.
Okay, always keep it in mind. So we will calculate the total amount of space as fixed part plus variable part. Okay, this point you should keep it in mind. Fixed part plus variable part. Fixed part means how many times you will execute the algorithm or the program. Always it will take same amount of memory. Same amount of memory. The memory location will not be changing. Okay, so that we will call it as fixed part. That is there. Plus in a variable, you should calculate based on the variable size. How much it is varying into that much. Per one call, how much it is taking into how many calls. Okay. Here, so these are the three variations. How I will calculate the space. How we will calculate the space complexity. Clear? Suppose if the question is given, like this. Okay, so int a comma b comma c. Okay, so int sum is equals to 0, a is equals to 5, b is equals to 4, c is equals to 3, sum is equals to a plus b plus c. Okay, so what is the total amount of space required by this particular code? What is the total amount of space required by this particular code? So here, since so a, b, c all are integers. So for a it is 4 bytes. For b it is 4 bytes. For c it is 4 bytes. Right? Similarly, one more variable we are having, sum. Right? One more variable we are having here is sum. So it is also integer. So 4 bytes, right? So don't confuse here, sum. So only for A we are creating memory location of 4 bytes. Similarly for B we are creating memory location of 4 bytes. For C 4 bytes. For sum it is 4 bytes. Totally 16 bytes. Right? Totally 16 bytes. But here the values are changing. Right? Here the values, only we are storing the values. Next time if you give different values for this A, B, C, then also it will take the same one memory location. B also takes only one memory location. C also takes one memory location, right? Suppose if it is like this, so int a of 5. If it is like this, then it is fixed, right? So it is fixed. The number of memory locations are 5. So 5 into so one memory location is 4 bytes. So 5 into 4, 20 bytes, right? Suppose if we are having int sum is equals to 0. So I 0 to n, 0 to 5, n value is 5 here. Sum is equals to sum plus a of I, right? So here you just see, for a it is 20 bytes. For a it is 20 bytes. For sum it is 4 bytes. For I it is 4 bytes. So does it changes? No. So totally 20 plus 8, 28 bytes, right? Totally it is taking 28 bytes. This is how we will calculate the space. Clear? Suppose if the recursion is there, then you should calculate what is the amount of space it is taking per recursive call, then how many number of times that particular recursive call will be executed into that one. That gives the total amount of space. Clear?